Everybody, and Dave with Growing the Home Garden. I am out here working on our property, and I just spent a good couple hours with chainsaw doing some tree clearing over here for eventual electrical lines. So this is another one of our build updates for the future house that we're going to be putting together. And let me just show you a little bit about what's being done. It's slow going right here at the beginning, but hopefully things will start to pick up here very soon. So basically I've got the land mowed, and if you can see in a few spots, like right over here, there is a post with some fluorescent ribbons and tape, and that's where the surveyor has gone to help put together the plat plan for the house, where it's going to go. And the house is going to go kind of over in that area over there, and that's where the water line's going to be coming up. There's going to be a frost-free spigot there, and then the garden is going to be somewhere over here in this vicinity. And then you see another little reference stake that he's got in here. And then over here, I've got to take out this big maple tree. I may hire that one out to do because that one's pretty large. There's an elm tree, and then there is a box elder tree on the other side. That's a persimmon tree right here. I don't want to touch that. I want it to keep going. It does produce fruit, and persimmons, if you've never had them, are delicious if you get them ripe. They are terrible if you get them when they're not ripe. So you got to time it just right. They say that after a frost is the best time to eat a persimmon. But you can make jams, jellies, or eat them fresh as long as they are properly ripened. You definitely don't want to eat them when they're not. I've done that before. It is something else. So here you can see some of the wild beds that I let grow. There's a lot of milkweed in there, a ton of milkweed. And over here you got thistle. If you check out that zebra swallowtail butterfly, he's enjoying that right now. And there's like a sulfur butterfly right there. So leaving some of this stuff up for nature is a very good thing. I've seen Gulf fritillaries and a monarch butterfly today as well. So this area all has to get cleared, because not far from where my truck is a pole, or where a pole is going to go in for our electrical. So the electrical will go from there straight through the line where this silver maple is right here, and then through this swath of destruction that kind of looks like a bomb went off. And that's a lot of the tree clearing I've done so far. I'm going to let the stuff dry out a little bit, then come back and cut it up into logs when it's a little easier to cut, because my chainsaw has had quite a workout today. Here's a persimmon tree, and you can see there's some dead stuff in there. That is part of a vine that I cut out that was climbing up there. I forget what kind it was. I think it was probably a wild grapevine that would eventually take over the tree, and it had a pretty good size trunk to it. Check that out. Cut that a couple weeks ago, so it died out. But there's just a lot of junk that I need to clear out around here. There's still another tree stump right here I need to get out better. But we definitely want the persimmons to thrive out here, because they are an edible food, and that's what we love to have, free edible food. Plus the deer love them. So if you want wildlife around, plant a few persimmons and they will flock to your property. But you can see here some of the trees that we've cut. Combination of hackberries, a few locust trees, and that's most of it. Hackberries and locust trees. There's a lot of privet that I've cut back, which I'm going to have to do a whole lot more on. And there's that silver maple. The bottom of the trunk is really large, and each one of those trunks here that comes from that silver maple is probably a good 10-inch diameter, maybe 12-inch in some places. You got some smaller ones in there. Some of it I could probably take care of, but I think I feel more comfortable having a professional take care of trees like that are a little bit larger and a little bit more tricky, because they've got a whole lot of different branches on them, and you never know where those things are going to go. So I'll probably need to clear out a couple more small trees over this way, and I wish I could keep this tree here, which is an elm, and but it's going to be in the way from where the power lines need to go. And this one here, I'm not too concerned about this one. I thought I could leave it, but after looking and seeing where the branches are going to be, they're going to be in the easement area of the power lines too, and so it's going to have to go. That's a box elder tree. It's got a pretty good sized trunk, but box elders are a member of the maple family, and they grow very quickly, as well as they're kind of weedy. So they're not always the type of tree that you want to have around. So looking back, here's our driveway area, and you can see that pole right in the middle of the shot, right over here. That's where the electric has to come off, and it comes comes through this cedar tree, which will have to go also, and then it will go right over here to where that little pole is, and that's where the actual pole is going to set, and then connect over to where the white truck is, way up over there. And so all that's got to get cleared. I'll give you a look at what that kind of looks like over here. If we take that angle, you can see that goes right through that silver maple and everything we got to cut. We're supposed to have a 20-foot easement around the power line. So when I was a kid, I had a friend in Pennsylvania who, his dad was a professor at Penn State University. I believe that's where he was. But he was involved heavily in the horticulture area. And one of the things he liked to do is they had about 11 or so acres up there, and they would cut pathways in, and it was just the coolest thing when I was a kid. So I'm recreating that a little bit here. You can see there, that's the post for a reference point where the house site is going to be, which is over there. But I've got little pathways cut into access points in the yard, and I'll probably do some more of this once we've moved on to the property. This is a beautiful plant called Ironweed, Vernonia gigantea, and it is very good for attracting pollinators in the fall. You definitely want to have some of that around if you've got it. And I still got to work in this area, but it is a secondary concern because that part will come later. This is where the septic goes because we don't have sewer where we are right here. And so this will be the septic field line area. And some of that stuff we'll have to cut out. I think that persimmon can stay. Probably that dogwood can stay. Though at least I'm going to try to let them stay. But the scrub stuff right there is going to all have to go. And then of course we've got all this privet right over here that eventually I'm going to get taken out and cleaned up and just let some of the trees grow. It's mostly hackberries, so it's nothing wonderful as far as trees go, but we can do some planting and put in some things that we prefer that are really good trees, maples, and different types of things. But we have a combination of lots of wildlife over here, from the deer. We've seen turkey. I was mowing the other day. The turkey were just 10 foot away from me or so, just hanging out and enjoying life. There's another point. They do these to just kind of get their bearings so they can kind of see where the line of everything is going to be. And there goes a monarch butterfly flying through the air right there. So at least one monarch butterfly has enjoyed me leaving milkweed in the area and things as natural as I could. Whoop, there he goes. It's about to land on some thistle over there. But over here, you've got goldenrod coming up. And a lot of people make a mistake and they think goldenrod is going to actually make them have allergies and all kinds of reactions. But the cool thing about goldenrod is it is completely insect pollinated. So the pollen doesn't go on the wind. So it can't cause your issues. What is causing your issues is another weed called ragweed. And the ragweed pollen blooms and propagates out at the exact same time as the goldenrod blooms. And so the goldenrod, unfortunately, gets blamed for it all when it's really an excellent source of nectar and pollen for bees and other little creatures, other pollinators and stuff in the wild. You'll note these flowers down here, and those are passion flowers from the passion vine. And the Gulf fritillary butterflies use them as a larval food source. So they're good to have around. And I've seen several Gulf fritillary butterflies here today that have probably enjoyed these as their younger selves. I hope you enjoyed that little video update of our land progress and where we're going to be. I'm hoping that this coming week we will have water lines put in. They're supposed to be here on Tuesday, although that's weather dependent because I think we're supposed to get some storms Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, so that may get delayed a little bit. But our next update, hopefully we'll have water lines put in, foundations started, and some other really cool stuff happening. I can't wait to get this going so we can actually get over here and start doing some gardening on our site. So thanks for watching. I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. We'll catch you next time.